Hi, I'm Brenda Shavito, and this is You Are Not Alone, the show for news, tips, and stories of hope for those who may be struggling with mental health and substance use challenges. Today's guest, Marielle Viola, was a close friend and classmate of my son, Nick. Her story is one of rebuilding from the inside out. Once a dedicated athlete, Marielle became a fitness entrepreneur, business owner, and home shopping network TV host. She spent years training clients, building gyms, and speaking to inspire others, all with one mission: to help women and their mental health. Marielle's motivation to help others stems from her own mental health challenges, which led her to destruction and destructive behaviors. Through movement and fitness, she discovered that true strength isn't all about lifting weights. It's about understanding yourself on a deeper level. This realization led her to create Motion Mentality, a brand dedicated to helping women connect with their inner power through movement, mindset, and healing from the inside out. Today, Marielle blends her experience in fitness, business, and television to inspire others to come home and move through what they're carrying, mentally and physically, and come home to themselves. Marielle, I follow you on social media forever and a day, and I am just so happy to have you with us today. Welcome. Welcome to You Are Not Alone. This is not only professional, but this is, personal on many levels.
Totally.
So I'm so happy to have you with us today. So thanks.
Yes, thank you.
Listen, let's jump in. We only have so much time, and we need so much time. Let's just dive right in. Just start by just telling us a little bit about your background and your upbringing and childhood and whatnot.
Yeah, I'm somebody that has two sides to my childhood. I feel like for a long time, I had a great childhood. But then as I entered into my teenage years, my adulthood, there were some things that kind of went on in my family that got brushed under the rug. I come from an Italian family, and it did really affect me. The more that I dug into therapy, the more I kind of realized that a lot of my upbringing kind of resembled a bit of a war zone. There was a lot of fighting. There was a lot of addiction, manipulation, drugs, just all that stuff. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of what I saw growing up. But when it's your family and when it's personal, you're just like, this is normal.
Yeah, this is normal.
Exactly.
Because you don't know what's normal, what normal in other areas or other families, what it looks like.
Yes.
So that was your family's normal.
Yes. And that was the negative side of it. And then the positive side was I grew up in a great home in a great neighborhood around so many kids. I had so many memories with friends. I had great memories with my family. Right. So there are just two sides of the spectrum. Right. But a lot of, what we'll dive into about mental health kind of comes from a lot of those problems that I just didn't get out ever and just kind of brush under the rug like everybody else did. Mm-hmm. And then that started to weigh on me and affect me and just lead me into, depression, anxiety, and just kind of a bad path.
So it was unresolved issues.
Totally.
From your childhood that were never addressed.
Exactly.
Right. I got you. So then after you graduated high school, what was your path like after high school?
I had no idea what I wanted to be in high school. It's so funny because you and I hung out with Nick, and Nick and I used to get kicked out of class a lot together, and we were in the same class.
Really?
Yes. I told you that a million times. We both talked a lot.
Really?
Hence why I'm doing a lot of talking now. But I didn't know what I wanted to do. My grades in high school were horrible. I couldn't concentrate. Later then realizing I had ADHD. Okay. Undiagnosed, didn't realize that till I was an adult. Mm-hmm. So, all I really cared about was my social life and sports and working out, hence a lot of what I'm doing now, you know?
Right.
So I was just never supposed to be somebody that was going your typical 9 to 5. I'm more of an entrepreneur. I just didn't know that then. Mm-hmm. So I did feel a little bit lost when I graduated high school. So I went to college. I got into very minimal colleges. I went to Penn State Altoona. Did not like it. And as soon as I went to Penn State Altoona, I started to have a lot of issues with my mental health and just, you go to college, big things happen in life, big changes happen. And that's where you realize a lot about yourself and your ability to cope. There were a lot of drugs out there. There was a lot of cocaine around me. Now I wasn't really doing it yet, but I just kept drinking. I was drinking for a long time. I drank a ton in high school, drank a lot after high school,
Right.
Just was on that path from when I was about freshman year of high school. You're 14, from 14 to 18.
Right.
So I went to college, and I had a really tough time in college. I really did. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was a special ed major. So I was very confused most of college. I was just kind of following this path. Maybe I should be in sales. I'm going to listen to my parents and maybe just get into what they do. Just like very confused because, again, I wasn't supposed to be somebody that was following a path that a lot of other people follow, which is a lot of my messaging too.
Well, it's also when you're in college, high school rather, I noticed, that junior, senior years, like, oh, where are you going? Where are you going? Where are you going?
Yeah.
Everybody I run into in the grocery store, oh, where's Nick going? I said, he's going to work.
Yeah.
Like the expectations are, oh, what college? What college? What college? Well, not everybody is cut out. So you have that stigma right there.
Totally.
Starting right there, like, oh, you're not going to college? Well, like, what are you going to do? Right? So that you probably had some of that, a little bit of pressure, to move on and go to college.
Yep.
Like everybody else.
Like everybody else.
Right.
And
how long did you last?
in college?
Yeah.
Well, I was 5.5 years in college. So again, focus issues, undiagnosed ADHD. I literally could not focus.
Right.
You know what the funny thing is about ADHD though? You hyperfixate on things that you actually want to do. Things that you don't want to do, you'll procrastinate. So it was very important and obvious to me that I do something that I'm passionate about in my life.
Right.
The more I kind of got to know who I was when I moved away. So yeah, I didn't really figure that out. I was always kind of training people on the side throughout high school, but it was never a job. It was just kind of like I've been lifting weights since I was 12 when I started.
Right.
So I just didn't know until I graduated college, to be completely honest.
So you did graduate.
I graduated.
Good for you.
Thank you.
I didn't expect that.
I was like, I wasn't going to quit. I wasn't going to quit.
I didn't think that you, I really
Never
didn't
quit.
think that you.
I did graduate, and I graduated with a psychology degree, actually.
Oh, good. That's
Never
good.
wanted to be a therapist, but I just really wanted to understand myself, so I used my degree to understand myself. Like, something wrong with me? I mean...
That's fine. Hey, all that schooling has come in handy, right?
Yeah.
And you didn't think that it would. Maybe you didn't think it would at the time, right?
At the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, good for you. Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you.
Wasn't sure about that. So then when did you realize, when did you start to identify these mental health, when you call them struggles or issues, or how did that come about? Not that you had a light bulb, but how did it all come?
There kind of was a moment. There were a couple moments for sure. I would say right in the area I just was talking about of going to college, that a lot of my unable to cope came out. A lot of those areas kind of came out, and the more I just kept drinking and dabbling in drugs, and I started to, as I told you before, like I started to dabble in cocaine a little bit when I was 21. I think that's when I first started, and it lasted only like a year and a half, 2 years. And I was like, I went to Penn State Altoona. I got up there. I was all over the place. I was dating this guy that was cheating on me left and right. I was dating a horrible person because I had very low self-worth that treated me horribly. He was a total narcissist definition. And I really reached a rock bottom many times. I reached a rock bottom, I would say like 3 to 4 times in my mental health journey. And when I was up at college, I just kind of had a moment where I was on medication at that time for a couple years because my mom and dad were like, you got to go on medication. They didn't know at the time. They didn't know what to do, and I understand that. So I went on medication, and I had this like really weird intuitive feeling when I was on the highest form of Lexapro while I was at Penn State. I'm like, there is no way. Like I feel so disconnected from myself, even being on this amount of medication, because medications like that, they don't let you get too high and they don't let you get too low. So you're kind of just right in the middle, almost emotionless.
Right.
And I had a panic attack still on the medication, which is very interesting. And I could not stop having panic attacks. So when I went away, I realized, I still don't to this day know why when I went away to college, it just all started to kind of unravel. And I do know that a lot of mental health issues start to happen around that age, in your early 20s and in your upper teens. So it started to kind of come out in me then. Yeah.
But what's interesting though, I mean, through all this, I have to say, is probably your, if you want to call it hyperfocus, or your focus on weightlifting. That probably, I mean, the way what I'm hearing and what I know, which isn't a whole lot, but it's just, the idea that you're weightlifting and doing something physical for yourself probably had a big positive influence on your mental health.
What a great point. That is the only thing that would help me during my darkest days. Seriously. And there's so much science linked to that. Right. If you move your body, if you do something, it is a direct correlation with your mental health. The mind and body are not the same, and that is not a woo-woo statement. It is the truth. It is very science-backed. Right. So it will positively impact your mental health if you do any sort of weightlifting, or movement, walks, whatever it is that you like, do something. And those are the moments where when I did go to the gym, there were some days that was the only thing that made me feel better. So that is, again, a lot of the reason why I do what I do now. Right. Yeah.
And it probably, not to sound, corny, but it probably saved you on many levels.
Oh, it did. No, it's not corny at all. It totally did. Yeah, it did save me. Absolutely.
So then when and how did you discover then you were going to be a personal trainer, a health coach?
I always wanted to.
Oh, okay.
I always wanted to. I had everybody in my life telling me not to. I mean, not everybody, but close people in my family were like, you're never going to make money doing that. Probably people project their own fears onto you out of anxiety. I think in your direct family, it's like, we want you to do well. So I don't think maybe it comes from a bad place.
Right.
But I just think that in this day and age, you can make money doing anything. You can make money doing anything. If you know the business behind it, you know how to market, do sales, you can make money doing anything.
Right.
So maybe in big box gyms, they take all your money. Maybe in that sense, you really don't make a lot.
Right.
But you can always find a way to make money doing whatever. So that kind of held me back. And I don't know. I think that me being in my hometown and stuck in this wheel for so long, I wasn't seeing anything else. And I think that you kind of get stuck in this. If you have depression, you have any sort of mental health issues, you can get stuck in this like really tough hole and you can kind of keep sliding down that. And I just kept doing the same things over and over, and over again. I wasn't seeking any therapeutic help. I wasn't changing anything. I was just kind of following this path that was not me. It wasn't me. It wasn't me at all. I mean, I've always been somebody that's been more of a creative person, more of a visionary. I like to talk. I like to connect with people. I like to do podcasts. I like to coach people, help people. And following a path that wasn't for me, just for the money, it never made sense to me again. So I think that I just felt very unauthentic to what I wanted to do and to myself. It's just kind of, why are you following a path that isn't yours?
So you got out of this pod, in Chester County, PA, and then you went to California?
Yeah, I drove too. Oh yeah, I drove because I wanted to drive. I needed to at that time. I needed to just do something like very different, and I just went all in. Like that's how low I was feeling for so long. And I'll never tell anybody that run away from your problems. You can't run away from them. You should be running towards them.
Right.
But I was kind of trying to chase something inside of me that when I did go to California and visit my brother, I felt something. And we're all intuitive creatures, humans we all feel things, of course, to a certain degree. And when I went out there, I felt like I could be free and I felt like I could be somebody and I felt like I could be creative and I felt like I could be myself. And maybe it wasn't California. It is a very special place, but I think it was just the idea of getting myself out of an environment that to me, when I was in Pennsylvania, now looking back on it, now I can confidently say that this is where I was an addict. Like this is where I was an alcoholic. And just getting out of that and being able to just break free from an old version of myself was just so important to me. And again, it's different for everybody, but for me, that's what worked for me. So yeah, it really, really helped moving. It really did.
So how long did you stay out there?
I was there for only a year and a half. It felt like 5 years. I was there for a year and a half. Yeah.
And how did that work for you?
It was amazing. It was one of the best things I've ever done in my life. It was also one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life. But with really hard things comes a lot of growth. And that is one of the most important things. I didn't realize it at the time when I was in it, but I was healing a lot out there. I finally went to therapy out there. I didn't know why I was going. I just knew that it felt right. And when I got out there, that's where I started my business. And that's where I elevated a lot. It was just kind of tough starting a business when you didn't really have a lot of background in, marketing yourself and doing sales. Of course, I had some sales experience. And prior to that, I worked with real estate agents at Compass.
Right.
So I kind of knew how to market myself and do sales to an extent.
Right.
I just never had the firsthand experience doing it myself.
You were self-taught.
Totally just threw myself in.
Right.
Totally.
So then how was your mental health disposition at that point in California? And why did you come back?
It was pretty good. That's a great question. It was pretty good. I feel like I did so much there, so much growth, that a year and a half felt like 5 years of shedding. California is one of the most expensive places in the United States. Let's start there. San Diego actually surpassed New York City. So I couldn't afford it. You know, with what I was doing, I was a small business owner at the time. I just started my business. I had a lot of ups and downs. I had a lot of ups, right? Where I was training a celebrity, The Bachelorette. I was like, I made it. Oh my God. I had all these clients. And of course, in this space, it's all about retention, and it's about, you need to have a business model. I didn't really have a concrete business model. So if you lost 2 people, there's like $3,000 that you just lost. So I didn't know how to balance that. I had to learn accounting. I had to learn my systems, and that takes time with anything, just like your mental health, just like your fitness journey. If you're getting into business, it doesn't just you don't
overnight.
Just start a business and it's doing so great.
Exactly.
And I didn't talk about that until now, right? Because there was a lot of shame rooted in it. Am I doing this right? Am I not? So my mental health moving out of California again was awesome when I was leaving. I mean, again, it was never perfect. I had a lot of moments, but I was in really great therapy where I, sought out help for PTSD and, a lot of my struggles and ADHD. And, through that process and through my own healing and growth and just kind of, do I like this? Do I not like this? When I was out in California, I really learned a lot about myself. I really did.
So then fast forward, you come back to PA, and then you didn't stay too long, and then you went to Florida.
Yes, I did.
So you had another opportunity.
Yeah. And
it's fine.
Totally. I dove into, and I'll, very much say this, I am a Christian. I believe, and to anyone out there, I believe in something, right? And when I was out there, I had a lot of signs that were like, come this way, come this way. The doors kept opening for me. And that's why I decided to start my own business. So when I left, I was in the airport and I met this woman. Shout out Victoria Popoff. She's a great person. They kept looking at me in my airport gate. I got there 10 hours before because I was crying. I was upset I was leaving because it was a really transformative moment. And I, wish I could have lived there a little longer. And I was leaving and I was in my gate and, her and her husband kept looking at me. So I smiled at them and he said something about a sticker on my laptop, and it turned into them being curious about me. I don't know if I had this, if they caught on to me that I was upset that day. I don't know the reason why they approached me. But it kind of made sense. I feel like God was kind of speaking through them. And she was like, you have this energy that's great. And you would be great with what I do. So she was a Pilates instructor for Club Pilates, which is a huge brand, like Rumble, Yoga 6, that entire brand, Rumble, all of that. So Club Pilates is a huge brand franchise. And she said that, I am basically the face of this app. You should come out and do this app. So I got kind of recruited in the airport to help start this gym. So I'm like, this is a nudge. Again, this is a door opening for me. I feel like I have to go. And I was already moving to Florida. That's the weird thing.
Oh, okay.
So there was a door opening for me in Tampa, and I already wanted to move to that area. So I'm like, let me just do this. At the time, I still had my business. It was all online. I was coaching people virtually. And I'm like, let me just do this too. Why not? I've never been a part of opening a gym before. So I went and did that. I moved 7 months later and then found myself in Florida living alone in a completely new, different part of my journey. Yeah. Yep.
And that lasted until?
That was again
a
year and a half.
Okay.
That was a year and a half, and the hurricanes took me out.
Literally. Took me out.
Thank God though,
Yeah.
But yeah.
When I saw you, oh gosh, when did I see you? About a year ago? Was that about
It was a year. It
and
was
a half?
during the hurricanes. It was when I was.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you
You
knew
were
that
in
I was
transition.
in denial. When I was going, I'm like, I don't think I'm moving home. But my car went underwater,
Right.
and my car was totaled and went underwater due to the hurricane that hit. So I'm like,
You were moving home.
I was moving home.
Yeah.
It was totally time.
Another time.
It was totally time.
Right,
yeah,
right.
and that's when I met my boyfriend during
Okay.
that time. So
Okay.
that chapter came to an end, and actually the gym went bankrupt, unfortunately. Wasn't my fault.
Wasn't your fault. You didn't have it. Well, in the introduction, let me just go back to something you had said. And I'd like you to elaborate on in your introduction. You included, quote, "It's about understanding yourself on a deeper level, and to come home and move through what they are carrying mentally and physically, come home to themselves." What does that mean?
I love that. It means a lot. I mean, everybody has a truth. Everybody has an inner knowing and a light that's inside of us, an intuition that's guiding us. I mean, I always find with my clients and the people that I help coach, people usually know the answers. People usually know what they want. People usually know the things that make them happy and don't make them happy. But why do we keep doing these things? And it's out of fear. So if people really learn to not distract themselves through so many things that we can do nowadays with social media, with alcohol, with drugs, there are so many ways that we can mask feelings that we have. And it's very easy to do it now. But if we kind of strip those things away and even have some quiet time with ourselves, a lot of answers will come to you.
Absolutely.
And I think that in the process of learning about yourself, it's a beautiful process, but there can be a lot of pain involved depending on what you've been through. And everybody has a story. Everybody's been through something.
Right.
Everybody's holding something. Everybody's going through something.
Right.
But if you can kind of learn about yourself and why you maybe feel those things, why are you in a job that you hate? Why are you in a relationship that truly is not right for you and is not serving you? Why do people hold on to these things?
Right.
And again, it's usually out of fear. It's usually out of fear. And I really think that I say this all the time on every podcast I'm on, but forming a relationship with yourself is one of the most important things that you can do. It is so important because even if you can, have a lot of friends around you, you have family, maybe you're married, whatever that is, you're the one that has to be in your own head and in your own body. So you might as well work at that because studies show 83% of your thoughts are negative. It's a very common fact on so many podcasts, and you have to work at being positive. You have to want more for yourself, and you have to put things in place that may be uncomfortable, like working out. And again, there's so much science that points to that.
Right.
And, if it's not just about working out, it's about maybe the personal development journey too, and journaling, meditation, thinking, hearing your thoughts, understanding them. So it's really just knowing and learning about yourself.
Well, one thing I did learn about you recently that you shared on Instagram that you had never talked about before was, a little bit of your struggle with alcohol.
Yeah.
And that you were now sober.
Yep.
And, that was a big thing to say because I know you got a lot of people following you.
Yeah.
And there's probably a lot of people who may not even know that about you. I mean, I didn't know that you had a struggle, and I didn't know that you had professed like, I'm in recovery, I'm sober. So tell me about that. What led you to that place? I mean, what was going on with alcohol?
I'm like tearing up kind of because I've never talked about it before. So I struggled with alcohol for so long. I did. I was an all or nothing person. I'm either getting drunk or I'm not. And alcohol led and opened up the doors to me to weed and to getting into cocaine. And I had to stop cocaine because I was forced because I got drugged. And it was not cocaine. Let me just say that. It was either speed or meth or something like that. And I had like a come to God moment, like in the bathtub, like withdrawing from a horrible decision that wasn't necessarily my fault, but I was like, I have to change. Again, you hit these rock bottoms and you're like, I have to change. Did I? No, because again, I was in the same environment until I moved to California. I stopped drinking just because I wanted more for myself and my business. And when I came back home for a little bit, I kind of started again. And when I went to Florida, I kind of did. When I moved back home, I realized I started taking notes when I would drink. I'm like, let me just have one. And to me, there made no sense.
Right.
Like when I would have one, I'm like, what's the point of this? I would really want to have more. I would want to have more alcohol when I would drink one. So I didn't trust myself. I'm like, I can't drink. I just can't do it. Addiction runs in my family. It's never talked about in my family though. And I just know the slippery slope of what it actually does. I've studied so much about alcohol. I just feel like there's so much pressure around it. And people are like, if you go out and you say like, I'm not drinking, people are like,
What?
just have one. Like, oh, you're a party pooper.
Right.
If you tell people I'm sober, people are, oh, good for you. People actually clap for you.
Right.
So I would rather say like, I'm sober because, and it's really hard to say because through that, you know, I'm going to actually start going to AA soon because it's hard to do things alone and you kind of need a community around you. Cause I still like, I'll go somewhere and it's all around me and everyone's doing it. And I'm just like, and I won't, I'm just like, I will not do it. I don't think I'm going to like relapse or anything, but I have an addictive personality and I can't just have one. Like it just leads me down a road where it creeps in very slowly. It's like the boogeyman.
Slow burn?
It's a slow burn for me. It's not even like if I'm having one, I'm having like, oh, I'm just gonna. It's a slow process that all of a sudden I'm drinking 2 days out of the week and then my hangovers are 5 days mentally and my depression and anxiety will come in.
I was going to ask you, what was the side effects with the obvious ones, but you know, how it impacted your life on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah. I can't function mentally for like 4 days after.
Right.
And I know a lot of people say that all the time. There's a mental hangover and I feel like my brain is snapped in half for 4 days and my business means so much to me because I have to show up for these people and now being public and social about like on my social media and with everything I do and, you know, I'll say some things on TV now, I can't go down that hill again. It's almost holding me accountable because my business kind of saved my life too. I mean, I really think it did because it's my purpose of helping people heal from what I used to do. You know, so
You're leading by example.
Yes.
You're leading by example. And leading by example is your transparency and showing people the way. And you've lived it, you've been through it. You know, this works for me and this didn't work for me. So, you know, there are people who can function through, you know, drinking and they can function and that's just them. But being in touch, like you're saying, getting to know yourself deeper and to understand what makes you tick, what works for you. We're all a work in progress.
It never ends.
You're young enough. You're still
you
young.
never reach a point where you're like, I'm 100% good now.
I got it
That
now.
never happened.
Right, that never
But you can be close, I guess.
You're a work in progress like we all are. And we're always learning. And you as a teacher and a coach and a mentor, I'm sure has been a blessing to many people. And you provided so much for so many others. So what's life like now? Like, what are you focused on and like, what are you doing now? What's the latest and greatest of Marielle?
You're so sweet. I do a lot of different things now. I'm more of like a fitness entrepreneur at some point, but of course, Motion Mentality is my business. I do a lot of life coaching. I'm a certified life coach. So I life coach through that. You know, I just do regular training virtually, nutrition coaching, you know, personal training in person. So I do the in-person training, all the online stuff. And then I'm also a TV host for HSN. So I'm a product specialist for the fitness category. So I basically just present products. You know,
and that's
on TV.
something new.
It's new,
It's recent.
I've been working on it for a year and a half. Since Florida. I auditioned in Florida. So now I'm a TV personality. That's fun. Always go for your dreams and the things that you're good at. I got in trouble for talking all the time in high school, and now I'm literally getting paid to talk. I'm getting paid to talk. What a great thing.
And the other aspiration is, and I saw recently on social media, was that you were up in New York City knocking down the doors of Peloton.
Oh my God, yeah. So I've been knocking down the doors.
Crashing through.
Kendall Toole was like somebody that was an inspiration to me. I don't usually have a lot of celebrities that I'm like, oh my God. But Kendall Toole is a big inspiration because she had, you know, a suicidal story and she uses her pain for purpose now, which is what I'm trying to do. She left. Commented on one of her stories and she actually responded on like an Instagram live story and was like, Marielle, go knock down the doors. And I was like, all right, that's all I need, right? So I sent out like 30 messages on LinkedIn and I got a response from the CCO of Peloton and she said, send me your information, and I've been emailing her. They're hiring a casting director right now. So when they open up spots for instructors, I already know that I'm going to be invited to audition. So I just went to a class at Peloton just to kind of feel it out. And, you know, I'm like, can I picture myself here? And of course I can, you know? So I'm a big go for your dreams person, and it does feel uncomfortable, but I mean, why should I not have a big platform with helping people with this subject, you know?
Absolutely.
So Peloton, and then motivational speaking.
Great.
I'm trying to get back into that. So
Great.
yeah, just trying to really help people. That's it.
Great. Well, that's your passion, your mission, and sounds like so far you're doing an awesome job.
Thank you.
And like I said, I think you're a gift to many, and you have a voice, and it's long and it's loud and it's strong, and you are being heard. And, you know, it's just so happy. I'm just so happy that you were able to be with us today. And I know we could talk for hours.
We'll talk after this.
Hours and hours. But let me ask you this. If people want to get a hold of you and get in touch for coaching or personal training, how would they get a hold of you?
Yeah, you can always email me. I believe he's going to show an email on the screen, marielle.motion.mentality@gmail. You can email me. If you're on Instagram, Marielle Mentality, very easy way to reach me. I'm always on my Instagram. And then my website too. So if you want to learn a little bit more about me and my story, you can go on my website. You can just click the button and then you can just schedule a call with me there.
What's that website?
www.motion-mentality.com.
Fabulous.
Yep.
Great.
Yeah.
We'll do it again.
Yes, of course.
So
of course. Thank you so much. It's so great to be with you.
You as well. Thanks, Marielle.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of You Are Not Alone. If you or a loved one needs help or would like to donate, please visit us anytime at angelsagainstaddiction.org. Remember, you are not alone. I believe that together we can help save lives. Thank you.